Have you ever felt a pair of eyes on you in an empty room? A feeling so cold and prickly it makes the hair on your arms stand up? That's what happened to my friend Liam after he inherited his grandmother's old Victorian house. The place was filled with antiques, but one item stood out: a life-size doll named Lily, who sat propped in a rocking chair in the attic. She had glassy blue eyes and a porcelain smile that seemed a little too wide, a little too knowing. Liam, not one for spooky tales, just thought she was creepy and decided to cover her with a dusty sheet. But that night, he was jolted awake by a soft, rhythmic creaking sound coming from directly above his bedroom. It was the rocking chair in the attic. He tried to ignore it, telling himself it was just the old house settling, the wind, anything but the doll. The creaking stopped after a few minutes, and he eventually drifted back to sleep. The next morning, he went up to the attic to check. The sheet he had thrown over Lily was neatly folded on the floor beside her. The doll was sitting exactly as he'd left her, but her smile seemed different, almost triumphant. He felt a chill run down his spine, grabbed the doll, locked her inside an old wooden trunk, and pushed it to the farthest corner of the attic. That night there was no creaking, only a faint, rhythmic scratching sound coming from inside the trunk. Scratch, scratch, scratch. It sounded like tiny fingernails on old wood. Liam was terrified. He spent the night huddled on his couch, listening as the scratching grew louder, more frantic. The next day, he decided he'd had enough. He dragged the heavy trunk out of the house and drove it to the local dump. He felt a huge weight lift off his shoulders as he watched it get buried under a pile of garbage. Finally, it was over. That evening, he returned home to a strangely quiet house, felt at peace for the first time in days. Now he made dinner, watched some TV, and went to bed. He was just about to fall asleep when he heard it. A soft, rhythmic creaking. It wasn't coming from the attic this time. It was coming from the rocking chair in the corner of his own bedroom. And sitting there with her glassy blue eyes fixed on him and that impossibly wide smile was Lily. So, the next time you see an old doll, just remember, some playthings never want the game to end. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe for more chilling stories.